What is up, my friends, and welcome to another edition of the XFL Week in Review. I'm your host, Mark Perry, editor of XFL News Hub. On this week's show, latest Spring League news, as well as XFL, NFL transactions, player movement, all that good stuff. It's going to be another quick show. There's not really a lot to talk about. If you want to get in touch with the show, email podcast at XFL News Hub with your MP3s or call 888-430-7692, extension 3. And remember to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. So let's just get into the quick recap of the news this week. So if you didn't hear, there was some drama going on with the Week 3 Spring League scores. So first up, the Game 1 between the Jousters and the Alphas was canceled due to COVID. Quote, due to a lack of practice time because of COVID-19 protocols, the Jousters will forfeit their Week 3 game against the Alphas per NFL rules. The Alphas will be rewarded a 2-0 win and move to 2-1. Both teams have resumed practices, close quote. Check out our Josh Davis and Mike Mitchell articles on XFL News Hub, dealing all with the drama going on with the Spring League between potential coaches wanting to leave. Josh Davis talks with Brian Woods, the CEO of the Spring League, kind of get their side of what's going on. Check out those two articles on XFL News Hub. We're XFL, so I don't really want to cover too much of what's going on in the Spring League, but just so that you know, there has been some drama this week, and this was part of the drama there, that they weren't able to play a game. The other game, Game 2, saw the Conquerors beat the Aviators 42-19. And then we got the Blues losing to the Generals 28-42. Again, check out Mike Mitchell and Josh Davis's articles on XFL News Hub about all the goings on with the Spring League as they go into their final Week 4. There's only 4 teams left, and we'll recap that next week. We're unclear if there's going to be a championship game and coaches leaving, all sorts of stuff. So you'll have to just read up on those articles if you're interested in the Spring League. If you're interested in the XFL, Pittsburgh Steelers signed Renegades linebacker Tigray Scales to their practice squad this week. Renegades kick returner Austin Walters moved to the active roster for the 49ers, so that's good for him. Now he is on the main roster. They've had dealing with a lot of injuries this year, the 49ers. Battlehawks LaDainian Washington, he is not playing in any sports. He's taking a job with Missouri. So the Battlehawks wide receiver taking a job with his alma mater, Missouri, as director of player development. So he is out there now, gets a job at his alma mater. That's pretty cool. Roughnecks linebacker Edmund Robinson moved to the active roster just like some of these other players. He's with the Falcons. He's one of my favorite defensive players in the XFL. So now he is on an active roster. Tennessee Titans, they signed Wildcats kicker Giorgio Tavecchio to their practice squad. We're getting seeing a lot of XFL kickers and punters being added to squads. DC Defenders Carly, last week we were talking about he was signed with the Lions practice squad. A week later, he's been released from the Lions practice squad. This is the life of most NFL players, not the superstars that you hear about that make all the money. Finally, Renegades coach Jeff Jagodzinski, he was the co-offensive coordinator and offensive line coach. He is now being the new offensive line coach under Mark Stoops' staff at the University of Kentucky.
I'll tell you, people, if you want XFL stuff, if you want random shenanigans, Paul's got stories today. This is a jam-packed, this is the place to go. I want people to know XFL ramblings and thoughts. We're here at the Markcast.
What's up, man? It's Cardell Jones. Hey, man, just want to say congrats on getting the XFL Markcast taking off, man, and take it easy now, dude. Try not to hurt yourself anymore.
What a great...
Wow. I just want to revel in that. Cardell Jones promoting the Markcast. We got it.
Oh, Lord, this is a good one, too.
Okay, gosh, you scared me.
This has to do with the XFL. This is great. I love going off of these tangents.
I thought someone was coming in the door. You looked over the computer on the video podcast.
My face went just as red as my shirt.
Oh, what's happening?
What's going on?
Cold Boozer, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Of course, thank you for having me on.
Chad Johnson.
I'm sitting here
getting a little maintenance. I'm getting my feet and nails done right now. Look at my hands.
They bought it. I think it's with the idea that they can make it work.
This dude looks, I'm going to put a side-by-side up. This guy could be Brandon Silver's brother, cousin. It could be Brandon Silver.
We just want to bring the positive nature. We want to get the word back out. The XFL is definitely coming back. Despite all the perceived hurdles it might have, we're definitely looking forward to that.
Quick look at our social media stuff. Sue says, talking about Kari Lee getting released from the Lions practice squad, he says, as very few XFL players seem to stick in the NFL, it would appear the XFL could have a stable pool of veterans for quality play. Absolutely. I mean, it is hard to stick with some of these rosters, and these are good players in the XFL. It wasn't like they were doing a bad job on the field. The quality of play was good. It's just that the NFL is tough. And I mean, if you've been bouncing around a couple times, you're pretty much done. It's not very often that guys bounce around to different practice squads who make it in, after a couple years, all of a sudden sign a 5-year contract with an NFL squad. That typically doesn't happen. So yeah, there is plenty of great players to play in the XFL in 2022. On to our YouTube channel. XFL Jim gotta say, I'm super interested in who they might hire as commish. Oliver Luck did a good job with fan engagement, and he'll be a hard one to replace. Luckily, that may be made up by both Danny and Dwayne, seeing as they're looking like more hands-on owners than Vince was. Maybe I should throw my hat in the ring. XFL Jim, if you have a good background, better than Oliver Luck, or close to Oliver Luck, then go for it. My assumption is you don't. Just throwing it out there. We threw it out there on the social, at least on the YouTube, say, hey, what kind of types of videos you want to see from us? XFL Fanatic says, maybe a retrospective, some predictions on the future expansion talk. All right, well, that's a good idea. Kyle says, video interviews with players interested in playing in the 2022 season and info on what they're doing now and until then. That's also a good idea, too. Little Bitty Custom says the XFL wasn't broke, but we are going to fix it, going to make it culturally relevant. That was talking about Danny Garcia, what they have plans going forward. Old School Boxing Talk says, hope they expand, add 2 new teams when they return to Alabama plus Columbus, Ohio. Okay. Chastity says, I love them Roughnecks. They go hard. Then any other teams go win the championship. Roughnecks did look good. Jerron said, is there a way that you guys could have XFL to TSL tracker? No, there is so much movement going on with that thing, and we can't even get stats of the games. So yeah, that's tough. That would be nice. I agree with you, Jerron, but yeah, that's just a lot of work to try to get that going. A lot of movement, and then we wouldn't even know. So I am Venom. Wow, it's the real Venom, guys. I say they should rename the Los Angeles teams to the Extreme and change their colors different. I don't think that's going to happen. I did like the Extremes, though, but I really think they wanted to walk away from the old XFL. Paladin Demo says, only caught the highlight reel of the Spring League Week 1. It's all right. Don't have cable or satellite, so can't watch the game in full. From what was presented, it's a good highlight reel. Yeah, I mean, all the stuff going on Fox with the Spring League, everything has been good. And our crew here at XFL News Hub has really enjoyed watching the games and talking about them. I've caught some of them if they're on Wednesday nights. That's my AEW night. So I haven't been able to do that because WWE sucks. Did I just say that? Yes, it did. Check out AEW. If you're a wrestling fan, please. It is so much better than watching WWE. And they're coming out with video games, which I'm really excited about. Could you imagine playing an AEW video game, an XFL video game in 2022, 2021, 2023? That would make me happy. The Crow Beast says it's probably best if the XFL expands to cities or states that doesn't have professional football teams. I live in Virginia, would like an XFL team in Virginia since we don't have any professional teams. I'm sure you're Southern Virginia. You go up a little way, DC Defenders, bruh. DC Defenders. Talking about relocation, Matt says Utah. Didn't think of that as a hotbed of football action, but okay. Demo also says, I'll be joining the Discord sometime this week. Fair warning, major nerds, so expect occasional Blood Bowl references and showing off what team I'm painting. Currently working on a parody Tampa Bay Buccaneers snottling team. Okay. Paladin demo. And remember, you guys can join our Discord as well. Lots of good chats going on there. Stay connected with fellow XFL fans as we go through this lull until we get to June. David Gonzalez says the XFL was good. The pandemic messed it up. Yes, it did. But actually, I think I'm like one of those people that I'm like the glass is half full. And I really think that actually this was probably the best thing that could happen to the XFL is getting Danny Garcia and The Rock involved more than Vince McMahon. I think Vince McMahon is somebody who I've said here that I'm, because I've covered the WWE for many years, many years. I think he's good at some things, but I think he's kind of past his prime now, and has been past his prime for a while. And Danny and The Rock have the same great business relationships with other people in the industry. And you've looked at the WWE product; it's stale. And AEW is better, and I think The Rock and Danny Garcia can do a better job than I think Oliver Luck and Vince McMahon at the helm. I think that's I definitely believe that. I think the two of them, especially Danny Garcia, if I were to put my money on Danny Garcia or running a business, an entertainment business per se, I mean, I think it was perfect timing to have Oliver Luck as part and Jeffrey Pollack as part of what they built. I think you were at the stage, and this happens in a lot of startup businesses, where you need somebody who's going to take things to the next level. And I think Danny Garcia and The Rock are the people to do that. Redbird Capital as well. David Gollins also says, me and my little man love the XFL. He is 8 years old, and his squad was the Battlehawks, which automatically made me a Battlehawks fan, not knowing anything about the XFL. I watched the game of my little man, and he was right. The XFL is awesome. Totally. And I'm so excited. And that's especially St. Louis. That's first St. Louis game, man. I am there. I don't care what it costs. Like I'm going to be at that first Battlehawks game. I might even skip the DC Defenders game to be at that first Battlehawks game. And finally, Carson Riley says, bring one, talking about teams, bring one to Louisville, Kentucky. So many people will watch it in Tenbra. The Louisville Copperheads has a good ring. That's actually not a bad idea, too. Interesting take on some of these cities, and we appreciate that. And that's all the social media we got for this week. What's up, XFL Army? If you're a fan of the XFL News Hub and you have a telephone, which I know all of you do because you're sitting there playing on your phones all the time, then why not download the XFL News Hub app? That's right, it's on iTunes. It's on Android. We have an Android version and an iPhone version of the XFL News Hub app. So what do you get? You get the latest news from XFL News Hub, the premier source of XFL news in the universe. Plus, you get push notifications when we have breaking news. You will be the first to know. You can leave a comment on some of the news right from your phone. Plus, you get this podcast on your phone as well. Remember, you can leave us reviews on the Google Play Store or iTunes. It links to other social media, our other social media accounts, and so much more. Be in the know. I know you're on your phones. People are on their phones all the time. They never get off their phones. So why not just download the XFL News Hub app on your Android or iPhone today? All you need to do is go to the Google Play Store or iTunes and just type in XFL News Hub. That's XFL News Hub. Download our app on your phone today. All right, that's it for the show. If you want to be part of the show, remember podcast at xflnewshub.com. or call 888-430-7692 extension 3. Remember, you can follow us everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, especially XFL News Hub. Sign up there, and plus we got our Android app, our iPhone app. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. You can listen to the show everywhere. Show notes, xflnewshub.com/xfl-podcast, and join us on the Discord. These shows are going to be short and sweet. There's not really much going on. June, that's what I'm telling you, that time frame, June. Especially let's get out of this November, December, get into January, February. We'll start to maybe hear some stuff, but we'll keep you up to date on all the latest XFL news. So thanks for listening. Mahalo. God bless y'all, and I will see you all Later.